the most frustrating realization as men is realizing that women prefer, or at least seem to prefer, to go after the bad boys, the ones that hit them, the ones that lie, the ones that cheat, the ones with the drug addictions, the ones that sell drugs. They seem to go for those over the guys that are more, that want more, something more serious. But I think there's a misconception as to why that is, and I think there's a work around that psychologically. There's like a, almost like a shortcut that we all can actually penetrate to. But if you just stay on the surface level, like what we're gonna see with this girl, you're gonna be fooled into thinking you gotta start selling drugs to get women. You don't have to go to prison for that. Let's watch this, and I'm gonna give you guys my take on it as she's talking. It's in Spanish, so I'm gonna interpret it in English.
De hombre. A mí no me gustaría
I do not like,
con Eric.
I don't want to have a second date with him because I like men that are bad. I like men that are more criminals. Toxic laugh. And look, you're a nice guy. You're a cool guy, but you know, you're not bad. I want a bad one. Toxic. Well, I'm not a bad person, motherfucker. Like, I'm not gonna be hitting you. I'm not gonna be spitting in your face. You know, it seems like that's what she wants. She wants to get abused, and I'm not that type of guy, right? And the problem is that that's a lot of attractive women. You know, that's like a lot of attractive women think that way. But it's just that they don't know what they really want. What they really want is a man who knows how to integrate his shadow. A man with the light side and a man with the dark side. Because, you know, women like her like to rescue guys. They like to change a man. That's because they have low self-esteem. So we're gonna give them something to work with. Let's go outside. I'm gonna show you guys how to be the bad boy without actually going straight to prison. All right, so let's talk about how to integrate your shadow, because if you don't know how to use your shadow, you're gonna get played, you're gonna get manipulated, and you're gonna look weak. And even if you're an attractive person, you're gonna look even less attractive, because a person who knows how to integrate their shadow is literally the most attractive people, even if you have your flaws. It's why people liked Donald Trump, to be honest with you, because he was able, like them, he was able to be boisterous, to speak himself, to show his shadow. And people are drawn to that. This is why psychopaths, narcissists, they all seem to have more options with the opposite sex. This is why women say, I love the bad boy. And this is why guys go after women who are cold and distant, right? A lot of these women tend to have a dark past, but for some reason it doesn't matter. For the reason being is because when people are repressed, they become attracted to people who are unrepressed. The problem is that this is just an illusion. The people who we are attracted to because their shadow is being flaunted outside, those people have not integrated their shadow. In fact, their shadows have isolated them from themselves, all right? In fact, they have emotions that they haven't processed. And because those emotions they have not processed, they act out in an animalistic way because they can't control themselves. Now, you have those psychopathic people who have no emotion to show, and so they give the impression that they have discipline. What that really is a person who can't feel anything. They can't feel fear, they can't feel stress, they can't feel anything. So it just seems like they have this like confidence, but in reality, it's just emotional numbness. You don't want to be in that reality. So this video is about how to integrate your shadow without being a cold psychopath. How to integrate your shadow without being hyper depressed because you haven't truly integrated it. This is about the type of shadow work that draws people to you. The type of shadow work that allows you to balance out your dark and light energy. The type of shadow work that allows you to truly change from within and not just bring your shadow and be a mean person, but be the type of person that has a dark side to you, but is integrated and trustworthy, okay? And let's begin. So the first thing is that always be on the look for people's shadow. Oh, that's the first thing. Always, when you getting to know people, look for this. And this comes across as impulses, drug addiction, changes in their personality, or even contradictions in their personality where they're nice to their workers, but mean to waitresses. Look for shadows. Anything that they can't control, any emotion that's too intense for them to be able to control it is a sign of their shadow, right? Whatever offends them, who they envy. You just want to be aware of those shadow sides that you just don't expect. Like vengeful side, for example, sides that want to hurt people. Maybe they're nice when in real life, but with basketball, they're dark. Just pay attention to that, because over time you develop a picture, a very accurate picture of a person's personality. But the problem is that we never look for shadow because we think it doesn't exist, because we fall but for the illusion of what they outwardly present out. Look behind the mask, and that takes time. You can't find a person's shadow the first day. You usually find it during moments of stress, when the mask slips out and you tend to see who they really are, right? Maybe when it gets stressful, they pull away. Maybe when it gets stressful, they get angry. They get hyper controlling. That's when you see a person's shadow. And with that, you could make a pretty good assessment of their shadow, right? The next thing is that with you, you want to be able to show your shadow, because your shadow can actually make you very likable. This is what makes bad boys and bad girls so attractive, is that we see their shadow. We see their drug addiction, we see their anger issues, we see sometimes they lose control. And what it does is that you might think that showing your shadow every now and then, not Bronx mode, you're not a fucking resident, every now and then showing your shadow, showing that uncontrollable side, what it makes you look is natural, like a natural human being, and a natural person that has impulses that sometimes they can't control. People actually respect you more and they'll trust you more, simply because they know that there's this guy that I know that every time he talks, he's always talking about how, he's a nice guy, but then he just said, yo, fuck this. Sometimes I just get mad at people. I even get mad at dogs. Like the other day, I saw this person walking his dog. He left them outside on the leash, and I was so fucking pissed off because that dog was huge. I was like, yo, I can't believe I'm even getting pissed off at that dog. We were laughing, right? Because we're like, yo, this thing is getting mad at dogs, man. That's crazy. But you know what's crazy? He's a very trustworthy person, because he's not faking it. Like when he talks, he says things that makes him look bad, but at first you kind of take it and you're like, damn, dude, you're a fucking horrible person. But then when you really listen to him and compare him to most people, you get the sensation that you could trust that person, because he's not faking it. He says sometimes kids look at him weird and it upsets him. Right, but then he says, "Yeah, I know. I get mad, but I sometimes can't help it. But I'm working on it." And he's actually a really nice guy. That's the thing. Like, he's a really nice guy. But I swear to God, that glimpse into that shadow that he doesn't hide makes him so. Because you know what you're getting with him. You know that he's actually a really good person. That sometimes he just snaps, but he doesn't hurt people. But you kind of understand his shadow. So understand that the shadow. It's like this. This is you, and this is you just showing your light side, your happy side. This is your shadow. Your shadow gives contours to your personality. It gives you dimensionality. You don't just look like a flattened image of a person. You actually look like a natural person in the world. It gives depth to you, right? And this depth makes you look more authentic to other people. But a lot of people try to hide their shadow for the simple being because they think they're not gonna like you. It's actually true. They are gonna like you. So another thing is show your weakness. If you have drug addictions, if you have depression, it's okay to show people that. What you'll notice is that humans are actually remarkable creatures. They want to help you. That is a very true thing, especially if they're rescuers. They all want to help you. And what happens is that people get emotionally invested. And this is why bad boys and bad girls are so attractive, because people want to rescue them. They see some potential in them. The next thing, sometimes it's okay to show the anger. Anger only when it's justified. Only when it's justified based on something that people are doing to you. So if people are taking advantage of you, bring it out. Bring out your inner Karen. Bring out your righteous rage every now and then. Even Jesus was flipping over table. You imagine if they had iPhones and TikTok, like, yo, Jesus is snapping, holy shit. Like, you be like, yo, can't believe, but people be like, yo, oh, he cute, oh, he getting mad, oh, he keep it real. I'm like, oh, you imagine that shit, right? But the anger makes you look more authentic. It's really about authenticity. The shadow side is not about making people like you. It's about realizing, oh, this person is human. This person is a normal person. It's not normal to be happy all the time. It's not normal to always be smiling, to always be in a good mood. That's fucking weird. We have a misconception. This is what makes people like you more. So when your moments of anger, moments of injustice, moments of people lying, trying to play you, you bring that out, you become more attractive and more charismatic. The next thing is that attack your fears. One of the things about mysterious bad boys, bad girls is the fact that they attack their fears, meaning they're not afraid. One, they're not afraid because they might be psychopaths, but two, they're not afraid because they're ambitious people. They want what they want. And so this sometimes means that you go out and you're more social even when you don't want to. I used to go to bars and clubs by myself because I wanted to like learn how to be more social. When I first started YouTube, I was scared. I was like, not a lot of people may not watch it. I may fail, but I confronted those fears. I looked at that fear and said, fuck it, let me go and start YouTube. I succeeded, and now I have more confidence. I have more self-esteem, not based on my imagination, but based on real things. I've actually worked for this level of success, you know, and the confidence that I feel comes because of my success. So that confidence is very grounded in reality, and it's really attractive. But that only came because I overcame that fear. I have art groups that I have, meditation groups, and at first I was scared because maybe people were not gonna come, maybe they're not gonna like it, but I did it so often that now my art events, I'm relaxed, I'm happy. And what it does is that it changes your personality for the positive. Now I have the confidence to start groups, to fail, to have no people come to the group and still be okay. That translates to other areas of life. Confidence spills over to other areas. And that all happened because I overcame my fear. I did the shadow work. Next thing is that sit with your shadow. Right? And that means your emotions without escaping. An example is you're afraid to leave someone because you don't want to deal with the depression because you feel like you can't deal with it. And because you're so afraid to leave them because you don't want to deal with the depression, you're needy and creepy and you do everything that they say because you don't want to confront that reality. It means that you don't want to escape that unhealthy relationship because you don't want to be alone. You're afraid of being alone. You're afraid of feeling those fearful alone feelings. So rather than confront those fearful feelings, which is temporary, you're not going to feel that forever. You stay in that relationship. You stay in that emotional plantation. Shadow work is not about writing down your dark side. No, shadow work is confronting your negative emotions that you don't want to feel and sitting down and making friends with them. Learning to observe the signals that your brain gives out and not be distracted. So that means going to what? Being in silence, not being on your phone. Every now and then sitting down in silence and meditating, allowing those negative emotions to be felt, anxiety to be felt, impatience to be felt, and just sitting. Confront that shadow. That's how you confront it. You sit and do nothing and you don't distract yourself. You look at it eyeball to eyeball without flinching. Too many people want to confront their shadow side. We're taking ayahuasca. We're doing it with a shaman. We're smoking weed and meditating. No, sit raw, like a raw soldier. Sit. Allow those emotions to arise. Feel the impatience. Feel time going slow. That's your shadow side. Shadow work isn't a fun thing. It's an impatient, anxious, inducing thing that once you do it and you're done, you feel completely liberated. Your nonverbal cues look more calm and relaxed. All of those feelings marinate your emotions in ways that you don't imagine. That's why whenever you see someone anxious, they don't know they look like that. They don't know it. Like I remember I used to be twitchy like this, and I used to tap my feet a lot. After doing meditation retreats, I noticed I don't do that no more. I'm not saying, okay, the lectures, let me not be a creepazoid and tap my feet. No, I'm just more calm. I've confronted those shadow emotions. I've felt it, not smoked my way out. I felt it in a raw, sober way. Allow those emotions to dissolve, like water dissolving over time. Any amount of water will dissolve as long as you put it outside. Any emotion will dissolve as long as you observe it in silence, alone with you and just yourself. Over time, your true self will start radiating, like being able to see through the window because you cleaned it. You'll be able to see who you all really are. And that's how you develop self-love. And this is the shadow. This is what people are attracted to when they look at criminals or when they're attracted to the bad boys. They really are attracted to this, but they're falling for the mirage of people who embrace their shadow. They're not embracing their shadow. They're just a bunch of criminals. When you meet someone who has integrated their shadow, they become highly attractive and highly addictive. I could think of people who have done that. And again, I like you. You may not agree, but before the whole Epstein thing, Trump was somebody that people follow because of that. What's another movie? Vegeta is an example of that. Goku is an example of that. Yu Yu Hakusho, when Yusuke was trying to get the power from Genkai, and he suffered. He was in silence. He was in a cave suffering, and it took him 2 days to integrate it. But those 2 days were the most sufferable days in his life. You see that in every anime, to be honest with you. Every anime, Yu Yu Hakusho, not Yu Yu Hakusho, Yu-Gi-Oh, where you have Yugi, and then you have the Pharaoh, and the shadow comes out, right? And so, what I want you guys to do is, if you really want to integrate your shadow, go to a 10-day meditation retreat. Go to a 10-day Vipassana, and you can go to this website. Look. Dhamma, DHAMMA.org. Go to Dhamma.org. It's a free 10-day meditation retreat. If you don't want to do that, you could purchase my course, Emotional Mastery. In that course, I teach you that. And the thing is about those retreats, nobody teaches that outside of those retreats, unless it's me. See, that's my shadow work right there. You see, that's my shadow. That's my shadow, That's my. You can check. Yeah, you can purchase that course in the description down below, or go to a 10-day retreat, and it'll teach you guys how to do shadow work. Honestly, I would prefer you to disconnect from the phones and just observe your life. Have a meditation practice, right? When you do that, you will see the shadow. All right. Anyways, take care. When you embrace your shadow, this is what's gonna happen. You're just gonna be more laid back. You're gonna be more laid back, and what you're gonna notice is that you're gonna start doing things in your life that may mean that you might be taking more risk. You might start all over again with your job. Like, you're gonna do things that to you never expected. And the reason why is because when you let go of your fears and your unprocessed emotions, meaning you observe it and feel it, your mind starts to suggest things that you didn't want to do before, things that are more risky, things that develop your character. And over the years, you'll start to see that you become what they call an interesting person. Well, fear is the threshold of being an interesting person. Once you overcome those fears, you literally gonna start doing what you want to do. And without you noticing, there's gonna be a shadowness about you that people are gonna notice, but you're not gonna notice. You're gonna notice you're just more at ease with yourself. But other people are gonna notice. They're gonna be drawn to you. You think I did not know what I was doing, right, when I was younger. I like to think I've lived a very, very interesting life, but I never expected that. And the reason why I never expected it, because I never did it to have an interesting life. I just didn't want to have any fears, and I wanted to confront my fears. And from there, I started to confront my emotions, and then I started to do the things the hard way. I decided to look for the long route, not the short routes, right? Because I wasn't afraid of failure. I wasn't afraid of anything. And when you do that, man, your shadow literally comes out, but in a more attractive way. And when people see that, they're gonna be drawn to you. You don't even need to try to look like to look edgy. You're just gonna have an edgy quality about you.
All right, guys, we're going to have a brief intermission so that I could tell you guys about our new bundle that we're doing, where you guys can purchase all of my courses and get it at a discount. So this bundle is pretty much the bundle where you could just buy all of my courses. You could buy Nice Guy, which is a training course on how to come across more assertive, how to come across more confident, how to not give off nice guy vibes. You guys can get access to Dark Game, which is my folk dating course on how to meet women in different scenarios, how to attract women, how to make sure you don't come across as creepy, and essentially how to act like a man and not act like a doofus, to be quite honest with you. And you get all of these bonuses, which is the bonuses of Dark Game, the bonuses of Practical Mastery, which is about how to master a skill, Social Mastery, which is how to master your social life, and the Laws of Human Nature, which is a book club videos that I had dissecting Robert Greene's book. All of this is naturally at around naturally is at $346, but you guys can purchase this bundle and get it at what's the price again? Get it at $238 pretty much. So you guys can purchase it right now. It's a money back 30-day money back guarantee. It's a good way to, rather than just buying them individually and paying extra, you guys can just purchase everything at a discount price. Now, the only thing I don't like is the fact that I'm giving you a lot of information at the same time. that makes me kind of scared, because a lot of times people don't do the things that I teach when you get too much information. But I've gotten too many requests to do this, so I'm just satisfying you guys. Purchase it right now by clicking on the description down below where it says purchase the bundle. All right, let's continue with the video.